Top five, top five, top five.
Yeah, girl. You ready to do this? You ready to count this thing down? We're doing the top five, her. Yeah, let's set it off with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Ranked Top 5 List of Stuff That Don't Matter. I'm your host, Tuong, and here we are with another quarantine online only episode. But you know what? I'm excited because we are using the internet, we can reach out to people near and far. And in this case, they're all far from me. Everyone's all over the place. Some in Ottawa, some in Vancouver. I'm in Waterloo. Yeah, it's super cool to have this crew here today. And we have one new person, which I'm going to not introduce that person yet. Because first and foremost, somehow this person has made their way back into the pod cavern. They have just forced their way into the internet and back into my life, which, you know what? I'm kind of glad for, because I miss this person dearly. Usually I'm really mean to this person, but honestly, I just miss this person. So, Axandre, Lemours.
What's going on? I just reached through my monitor and took control of the pod cavern for myself. So I figured, might as well throw another episode at y'all.
Give me a little virtual hug.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I'm hugging you.
God, You're so strong.
Yep, it's a bear hug.
You've been working out?
Yes, quite a bit to pass the time. Bodyweight fitness and all that.
Ax, we're so excited to have you back and to have your liquid cool voice in the pod cavern. Now, this person that you're going to introduce has not been in the pod cavern for a very long time. Who is it?
Oh my God. She is the most amazing dog mom I have ever met in my life. I miss her and her kids very dearly. It is Catherine Ballachey.
Hello. Here.
Yeah.
Back in the pod cavern. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, we recorded a podcast just before I moved back to Vancouver, and that was the last time.
And we were like, I don't know how it's going to work. How are we going to do the online thing? But here we are.
Here we go.
You know, Catherine, there was a little bit of a role where you were like right up there and like most recorded episode.
It's so fun. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me back to the warm embrace of the pod cavern.
Of course. Now we have one more guest, and who is it?
Is he brand new? Is he? I didn't realize that. Oh, wow.
A newcomer?
Well, welcome. To my imaginary left is my good friend and former colleague, Seth Gerry.
Seth is here.
Pew, pew, pew.
Hello, Seth.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. What an illustrious group of people.
Yeah,
that's one way to put it.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little nervous because the last top 5 that I listened to, it was the 3 of you and Sarah Finn, and I was like, I am not gonna be able to keep up with Sarah Finn's just incredible on like just running dialogue of awesomeness.
Yes, well, luckily for you, the rest of us are dummies.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
I think that was the one we recorded just before I left. The like top 5 cool people you've never heard of or something like that.
Yeah, most interesting people you've never heard of or something, yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. That's a good segue, because once you do people, where do you go from there?
Animals.
We're going to top 5 interesting animals you've never heard about. Now, we're going to go right into the ground rules of saying, like maybe you've heard about it, but we haven't. So that's one of the ground rules.
They're new to us. So shut up.
Yeah, exactly. What other ground rules do we want to cover in top 5 interesting animals you've never heard about?
So we did agree a while ago, the way to define animal is if they're from the kingdom Animalia, right? When you have your like order of classification, I guess. So that has to be kingdom Animalia. So we're not talking plants. We're not talking fungi. We're talking animals.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because originally I was saying no bugs, no fish, because I wanted to do top 5 bugs. But they're technically animals. And honestly, I'm glad I rescinded that rule because I have a few on my list that
There's
are
a lot of weird insects out there.
Yeah,
that's true.
Ooh,
oh my God,
I've also gone into some creepy crawlies Let's save it for the cast.
Now,
what other ground rules? Yeah.
Well, there was one that I was bringing up, and I get Axandre's point that I think it would be like a completely separate episode. The animal has to be living today. Like, we're not talking prehistoric animals or extinct animals. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's like a whole separate topic, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the possibility of top 5 dinosaurs one day, so let's just save it for that kind of episode.
Got it.
Substitutes.
But yeah, I would say like because the topic's so broad already that we need to find a way to cut it off at some point, right?
Yeah.
I think another thing to keep in mind, especially for our listeners at home, especially with an episode like this, top 5 interesting animals you've never heard about. I mean, there are so many fucking animals out there. And I think with even the same group of people, we might have different animals on our list and different orderings of this list. It's almost as if the actual top 5 portion of the top 5 episode today is less important than just, introducing you, the listeners, like some cool ass animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. We'll come out of this knowing more things.
Yes, but somehow we'll rank it a definitive list that will be part of podcast for the rest of time.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I think that's it. And if we have any more rules along the way, we'll talk about it. But
rule. Sorry. Yeah, because you reminded me, because someone had said they have to be real animals in the world, which seems sort of like a really practical one, but it's worth saying because when I thought about bringing on animals, all I could think of was these hoax animals that don't actually exist in real life. And at some point, I don't want to go rogue or anything, but like at some point, I want to bring up this animal that I was convinced was real. And especially when you brought up the topic of this, and I was like, oh yeah, all I could think about was that it was still a real animal, and it definitely is not a real animal.
Well, thank you. Actually, so,
I'm
that
not
is a really good distinction. Yeah, thank you.
Those animals that people like sew together and pretend is a real animal, and they're like, "Oh, look what I found!"
Yes, like that.
I'm really salty. I'll be honest. When I was doing my research on this, I saw a really cool looking fucking animal, and I was like, "This looks fake, but cool. It's like the thumbnail. It must be real." And then at the end of the video, it was like, "No, we made this up." I'm like, "F you! Your whole video is null and void." So. Yeah. And I think I guess we'll just have to factor in if you've never heard about it, quote unquote. I think that's pretty, I'm going to use an example. I don't think anyone's going to say it, but I'm going to use the example of a narwhal. It's a narwhal is a very well-known type of word and animal, right? I mean, maybe you don't know too much about it, but you've heard about this animal. So I think that's a little less, I mean, it could be interesting, but you've definitely heard about it.
Yeah.
Cool. So just like every episode or ranked, we're going to go around 3 times, making a master list of 12, nominating 3 nominations each and whittling that down to a top 5 list. Are you ready to rank some animals?
Yeah, let's do it.
Meow. Well, my first animal is not a cat. I don't know why. So I had a little bit, this was my barometer for this episode. I did some research and I am from a science background, but please do not ask me any science questions. I don't know anything.
Okay.
So my barometer of it's an animal I want to talk about is I first looked on a superficial level. I looked and said, does this animal look cool? And if it did, I would do research. And if it was more interesting, then it would make my list. But I would not nominate anything that didn't look cool. So I'm going to link you guys something in the chat here. Okay. You might have seen it in your own research, but this is the Glaucus atlanticus.
How?
Right? It looks
it's from Avatar.
I love it, right? It just looks like a thing that shouldn't exist in the world.
I like that the nickname is the Blue Dragon.
I'm just going to cross it off my list real quick.
Oh!
Okay,
How
great.
even?
Oh, what?
There's so many animals. How did this happen?
So this is also known as the blue dragon or the blue angel. And the unique weird features is it has beautiful two-tone coloration and feathery appendages. They're about 1.2 inches in size. And they're found all over the world's oceans, kind of all over the place, but I mean, I've never seen one. So
No.
they're kind of, they're like one side of it's like slug-like, and the other, it's like very blue and white, as you can kind of see. And I think a cool thing about it is that I think it's technically, a marine gastropod mollusk. And it's a subspecies of blue sea slug. Now, what happens is it actually feeds on this like more poisonous thing, something called the Portuguese man o' war and other jellyfish, which is much larger than this thing, but this thing kicks its ass essentially.
Yeah.
So it's immune to the poison of the Portuguese man o' war. And what happens is it injects its own venom, which is from its like weird appendages that you see, and that's how it like basically kills these other things and then feeds upon it in like one like sitting kind of thing. I think it just looks super cool, and if you like watch any videos of how it moves, it's so freaky and weird,
freaky and tiny, and
it almost looks like it should be coral, but then all of a sudden it like moves and is something separate.
And
like
jump 6 feet in the air.
Weird.
It is weird, but I like it. And you'll notice from my nominations, besides this one, like I don't like anything bug like. I don't have any bugs on my list because I don't like bugs.
Yeah,
really. But this one is just so. It looks like something from Avatar, like you said. So I kind of like it. I dig it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Nice nom. Solid nom.
Good.
Thank you. We're gonna go to Axe. What do you got, Axe?
Okay, so so I scratched that one off my list, but I'm linking another thing. It is not a bug or a mollusk. It is the lyrebird, Lyre, not Liar. Native to Australian rainforests, discovered in the 19th century, and it can live as long as 30 years.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Whoa,
yes. The tail feathers are gorgeous, but the really cool thing about it is that its song can mimic just about any sound. Like what I grabbed from the article: chainsaws, car engines, fire alarms, rifle shots, camera shutters, dogs barking, crying babies, music, ringtones. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Yeah, it's kind of nuts what this thing can do with its voice I think mainly while it does like mating dances. So it's, there's a lot of jumping and dancing and showing off tail feathers, but also making ridiculous noises, apparently. So much so that apparently in Tasmania, south of Australia, some lyrebirds living there have mimicked noises that are endemic to birds that don't even live there.
How do they know?
I don't know. It's awesome. I love it.
Wow. This thing looks cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the nice looking tail feather designs, and they're really long for like a bird that's that small, though apparently within its own not species, but about the one above species order. It's pretty large. Like I think the raven is the only bird that's bigger. That is my first nomination.
Lyre beauty.
Yeah, and I think my next nomination is going to be similar, but like
cool. Well, we'll see. Let's go on to Catherine.
Oh, okay. I will copy this in the chat. So I actually have seen one of these in real life. Cool. I went to Costa Rica, 4 years ago, and we went on one of those like freaky like nighttime animal kind of tours. And speaking of animals, my husky is getting chatty behind me, just to warn you. But
it's okay.
There she goes. So we saw a family of these. And we saw a bunch of other things too, like sloths and a fucking tarantula. But so this is called a coati mundi. And I love them because they're adorable. So they're essentially like a Central American raccoon. They kind of look like if a raccoon and like a red panda mixed together, and they're adorable. Yeah, I think they're kind of like funny looking, but in an adorable way. They almost like they have this really narrow, pointy face, almost like an anteater or something, but like a raccoon. Yeah, and you find them in Central and South America. And they're like a cousin of raccoons. And it's funny, people in Central and South America treat them like raccoons, like they don't think they're very interesting, but I thought they were adorable. And they have these really cool tails that like it's how they kind of jump around on the trees and stuff, and they can actually like jump pretty far using like their tail. Yeah. And they're like, they're similar to like mongoose, weasels, like those sort of things, and they're actually like pretty smart, much like their I'm reading their Wikipedia a little bit here, but much like their cousin, the raccoon. Yeah, exactly. But they like live up in the like trees in the rainforest and stuff and kind of like hop around. And I just think they're really cute.
Yeah.
So we saw them at night. They were like, they hopped between like a whole, like 3 or 4 of them hopped between 2 trees, like all kind of following each other in a line. And we were like, what the crap is that? And they were coatimundis. Yeah. They're so cute.
Huh. All right.
There you go.
Cool. Well, let's move
so much for
on.
them into my life.
Yeah.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah. Oh, and you just want to cuddle it.
I know, right? So it's less like freaky deaky, but they're like, I think they're so interesting. Yeah.
Freaky deaky. I want that on a t-shirt. I don't know why. Just with the karate on it.
Yeah.
Hey, getting freaky deaky tonight. Seth, what do you got?
Okay, so we're taking you back up into the skies here. I want to introduce you to the harpy eagle.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
I've seen the harpy.
Because the harpy eagle is so big that people think it's a human dressed up as
Oh
a bird.
God.
Freaking enormous.
So I'm going to try to lay it out for you. It kind of looks like Big Bird with like an owl face and then like 2 feathers that look like ears but are not ears, sort of sticking out the top. It is a freaky weird amalgamation of eagle and owl and hookbeak. And it just looks like it could eat you. It has a 7-foot wingspan.
The talons look huge.
This thing is like talons the size of my hand. The talons are actually larger than a grizzly bear claw, if you can like imagine that. And the ballin thing is the females are twice as large as the males.
Oh,
Damn.
cool.
So
my God.
Yeah, these are like
Who run the
huge,
world? Harpy
biggest
eagles.
in the world.
These are
Where did they live?
I don't know. We're distracted by this. Well, you know, I got most of my info from the San Diego Zoo, so there's at least one there.
It usually inhabits tropical lowland rainforests in the upper canopy layer,
There you
according
go.
to
Yeah.
Wikipedia. So
Central America, Papua New Guinea, Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Hey, we
feathers.
never said we were experts on this, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
We literally
No.
just did this research. We just think these things are cool, okay?
Yeah.
No, this thing is so cool, but like, yeah, I would be terrified just like walking around and then seeing this thing like make eye contact with
Oh
me.
hell
Jesus.
yeah! I don't need to see a bird as big as me. What the hell?
I mean, this picture is like a guy sitting beside the bird on a log, and the log like dwarfs this man.
Yeah, and like
sorry, the
it's
bird,
as tall, yeah, it's as tall as his torso, even bigger.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So there's my nom.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
thanks for bringing a nightmare into my life.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to round two, man. Okay, I feel like this can go in so many different ways.
Yep.
Let's go to, okay, I'm going to link you guys this guy here, and you might have seen this, Axe, because I feel like we did the same research around the same places, but here we go.
What do you mean?
Oh, guys got this one too. Yeah.
The pink fairy armadillo.
Oh my god, that's a
Right?
Pokemon.
So okay. So thank you. I think a lot of the reason why I, gravitated towards this thing. First of all, I did a lot of Google searches, and this thing kept popping up, and it just seems so cute. And like, look at it. It looks like a teacup pig.
It really,
I
teacup
am
pig with armor.
Simultaneously attracted and repulsed. Like,
Ew,
like
yeah, it's
something
got
that
funny.
furry should not be that scaly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I had a bunch of notes on this thing, but they seem to have disappeared. So, but I guess the thing to recognize about this thing is because it has like that really big bony armor shell around it. Let's see, this solitary deserted adapted animal is endemic to central Argentina and can be found inhabiting sandy plains, dunes, and scrubby grasslands. Let's see what else it has. Oh, all my notes are gone, but just look at it, okay? Look at it on this website. Look at it kind of burrow, and I just think it just looks super fucking cool. I will find more research during whenever I can find my notes again.
This one guy here in the article you sent describes it as the cranky and vindictive Tinkerbell.
Oh,
I
dear.
really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, I will find more research on what it actually can do when I find those notes. But for now, let's move on to Axe.
Okay, so I'm gonna send y'all a Google image link because just take a look at the thing. It's adorable. In a bug kind of way.
Yeah, send us that. And actually, Ax, before you move on, I did find my notes.
Fantastic.
Okay, so here we go. Some quick things.
Sure.
Its length is 3.5 to 4.5 inches, weighs about 4.2 ounces. It diets on ants, worms, snails, larvae, and plant material. To adjust to environmental factors, this little armadillo's blood flow increases or decreases, which can cause its color to change.
Cool.
And beneath the shell, the armadillo has a silky yellowish white fur and 2 sets of claws that appear massive in contrast to the rest of its body.
Of course,
and
yeah,
these
they
claws
look
help the armadillo like dig burrows into the sand so
big.
quickly that it's nicknamed a sand swimmer.
So
Oh.
I
There you
mean,
go.
you could say that
Unreal.
it's a sand shrew.
Oh my God, that's insane.
It's
Wow.
like it's a
Not
Galarian
everything's
sand
Pokemon.
shrew.
Not
Listen,
everything. Although honestly, I had the same thought. Looking at, I'm like,
Yep.
wow, there's so many cool animals out there. Like Pokemon has ideas for days.
yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I mean that's a whole other Google search that I went into as well.
Sorry, Ax. Go. What was your nomination here?
Okay, so the link is there. The scientific
my
name for this
God.
thing is Meritus jactatus. I think
That's
I said
not
that
a
right.
real thing.
It's
What is
colloquially
that?
known as the sparkle muffin.
Oh my god.
Ah!
Hell yeah! So it is one of few species of peacock spider. And it's called a peacock spider because it's kind of what it does. Its signature mating dance is where male spiders will display that colorful iridescent pattern on the back of their bodies.
But, yeah.
Discovered in 2015, native to a single national park in Australia.
Ugh.
And they're only about 5 to 8 millimeters in length. And as part of their mating dance as well, which other than the name is why I picked it, they like will raise one or like part of their legs to signal mates, as well as, you know, showing them their patterns. So I just immediately pictured a little spider doing the stanky leg to attract females, and I died.
Oh, they're so tiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
And the other one is I think the other one is called a Skeletoris as well, and that's the one with like the black and white patterns all over its body as opposed to iridescent colors. But I just love, you know, Sparkle Muffin. That's what I'm gonna name my horse whenever I get one.
Sparkle Muffin.
Go forth, Sparkle Muffin.
Oh, Sparkle Muffin!
I just want to say that, like, of course, this spider lives in Australia.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the freakiest spiders are there, and they're like the smaller the spider, the freakier the spider for sure.
Yeah, everything in Australia wants to kill you. So
Pretty
So-
much.
I might have missed this. Like, does it have venom and poison and all that stuff? Like, will it kick my ass if I ever see one?
I believe so. But there,
When we
yeah,
see when we're gonna go pick it up. We're just gonna. Never told us it was dangerous.
yeah, but they are so tiny that you might just miss them anyway. And I don't think, I don't think they'd bother you on purpose like some of these tarantula motherfuckers.
No thanks. No, thank you.
Like, yeah, you see, like on these images, they're like clinging to blades of grass. Like they're tiny.
Right. I would hate to see one. Catherine, what do you got?
Okay, so I have a few options here. You know what? I'm going to send you guys this one. This one is a good one. Okay, so this animal is called a bush baby.
Not to be mistaken for George Bush's kids.
No. Yeah, it's a Senegal bush baby, also known as a galago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's a nocturnal primate similar to a lemur. Again, I'm kind of going the like freaky cute route. So it kind of looks like a monkey lemur kind of thing with giant eyes and giant ears. And they only come out at night. So I could just like imagine, you know, being in the bush in Senegal or something. And all of a sudden you see these like giant eyes staring back at you. And it's a little bush baby.
That's terrifying, but okay.
The eyes are huge.
Oh my gosh. And apparently they're hunted by chimpanzees. Chimpanzees eat them. Wow, sorry, I'm just looking at their Wikipedia. How dare they? They're so cute. And I kind of love their name too. It says the name bush baby may come either from the animal's cries, so I guess they cry like babies, or from their appearance that they kind of look like giant babies in a sense. And they're agile leapers. They run swiftly along the branches, and they live in Africa south of the Sahara. Yeah. including Zanzibar, one of the islands. Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm also reading the Wikipedia, and the way that the chimpanzees like demolish these animals is actually, it's disturbing. I will read a bit of this here. So once the chimpanzees like kind of find these bush babies, they will break a branch from a nearby tree and sharpen the end using their teeth, and then repeatedly stab rapidly the bush babies.
That's messed up.
And after they're done stabbing, they smell the tip like freaking psychopaths.
And the blood. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I need that.
This method has been it is more energy efficient than the traditional method of chasing the small mammals and cracking their skulls on nearby rocks.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes. Okay. That makes sense.
Then.
Stabbing versus skull cracking. Yeah.
Well,
chimpanzees they're onto something here.
Good thing they reproduce twice a year.
Yeah, seriously. Wow.
Yeah, it says that they're not endangered or anything. Like the conservation status says there's no concern. Like they're all over the place. So that's nice. That's good.
That is nice. That's nice to know. Seth, what do you got?
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to throw the name at you, and I'm going to give you 10 gold points if you can guess what kind of animal this is, just based off the name alone. Okay. So it's called the sarcastic fringe head.
A bird. It sounds like a
frog.
Bird.
A frog.
Fringed head. Yeah, maybe a bird.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know. A bird sounds more likely, I guess.
Fringe head. Sounds like you, Seth.
He's gonna link us a picture of his LinkedIn profile.
Sounds like most of my theater friends.
Okay, so this is a fish.
Oh,
and
weird.
It looks like Admiral Akbar, but its mouth is like the spitter dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, I see that.
It like opens up wide, right?
Holy
That's
shit.
Terrifying.
So the first part of the name, which is like sarcastic, is from the Greek sarkasmos, which means to bite or tear. So that's like its little needle sharp teeth and everything. And then fringe head comes from the soft appendage that rises above his head. So it's one of the weirder names of like ocean going fishes, I suppose. But what I really like is like they have specially designed jaws that fan out to the side, and then this is from the article, quote, reminiscent of the cockroach alien from Men in Black.
or like the Predator, except if it was like webbed.
Yeah, which makes them appear larger and more intimidating. If the challenger, so if like two males come together, is another sarcastic fringe head, the two will kiss by aggressively pressing their open mouths against each other until one finally gives up and swims away.
Wow. I win!
This is amazing. This thing's so freaky looking.
It's brilliant. And like I know a lot of fish look like Admiral Akbar because of like the big eyes, but like it's these jowly, like weird
those lips, man.
Things.
Yeah, puts it over the top, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, there's a picture of two of them going at it, like the two men.
Oh,
it looks like
fighting?
they're just like birds fighting each other's faces.
Wow.
It looks like an alien. Like it shouldn't live on Earth. Like it's so strange.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
So there you go. Sarcastic fringe head for the win.
Sarcastic fringe head. Wow. We're already moving on to round 3. And this is nuts because I feel like with this episode, we can go for like 100 rounds because there's so many cool things. Hard to narrow it down to just 12, but we're going to do it anyways. Now, my next nomination here, I had a hard time figuring out who it would be, but I think it has to be this one because I was just so blown away by it. I think I might have heard about it in the past, but I'm going to link it to you. I'm going to link you a GIF, okay? So here it is. Here's the GIF. Take a look at it.
Yes, I've seen it before, but also Jesus Christ,
what is that?
I don't
hit
like
my screen.
This is called the mimic octopus. And I think octopus are like super fascinating creatures. If I ever like was around one, I kind of freak out unless I was in an aquarium, I guess.
They're too smart. They're really smart. That's what freaks me out.
So it's this specific octopus is way smart, which is why it's super freaky. So the thing with why it's called the mimic octopus is because it can like basically morph itself into a bunch of different stuff and make it look like a bunch of different stuff. I think there was like a recorded of at least like 16 different forms that it takes. And there's this video that I can send you guys over the break of all the things that it transforms into, like when it's like just trying to blend into the background or like try to like make itself look like a school of fish or make it look like a crab, or it will like burrow into the ground and have only like 2 legs coming up so it looks like plants and shit like that. And it's just super crazy because it will do this to like A, protect itself, but B, like just devour stuff as well. So it's super scary. And and I don't think it's like it is known exactly how many things it can transform into. And I'm using the word transform pretty liberally here, but obviously from that GIF, you saw it like basically explode into that thing.
I wonder if it can like adapt and evolve to like change into new things it encounters, you know, like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, it's all over the place in what it can become. And yeah, I have a video to show you guys on the break and it is weird. Axe, what do you got?
Yes. Okay. Let me link this stuff. So this one is another bug, Euspinolia militaris, commonly known as the panda ant.
A panda ant? That sounds cute.
Yeah, is cute as hell. So it's actually a species of wingless wasp. Like it's not an ant at all, though the males do have wings and the females don't. Discovered in 1938, native to forests in Chile, and it's about 8 millimeters in length. Which, I mean, I'm trying to picture a regular ant. I think it's bigger, but anyway. So it's called the panda ant because it's got that funny furry white coat with black spots all over it, which looks adorable.
I don't know about that.
It looks like a 16-bit version of a panda or something. Like it's the basic parts of a panda.
A low poly panda. Yeah. No, it's also got an incredibly painful sting, which I think most friggin' ants now do, which is why it's also known as the cow killer or the cow ant, because its sting hurts like a mofo.
Wow.
And that is my third. It's adorable.
Look at this thing.
Panda
it does look like a panda.
Absolutely. I would not want to encounter that thing in the forests of Chile.
Axe, you really like bugs, do you?
I mean, I gravitated toward bugs while I was looking for stuff, oddly enough.
Fair enough. Catherine, last nomination. Is it a bug?
No, you know, I've gone like a lot of mammals. I focused on mammals for some reason. So so I have one mammal, like a land-dwelling mammal left, or a water-dwelling creature. I'm kind of torn between the two. Which do you think?
Ooh, it's tough. If you want to shake up your list, go water.
All right. Let's switch it up. Okay. So this is called, here, I'll send it to you. This is called an olm.
This thing.
An olm. So it's essentially a blind a salamander.
I don't like it.
I don't like Seth's reaction to everything. He's like, I was
gonna go for another freaky cute thing. Then I was like, you know what? Let's switch it up.
Good work, Catherine.
It's essentially, if you've seen any Planet Earth, it's where I first discovered these kind of things because they predominantly live in caves. And there's this really fascinating episode of Planet Earth that it all just explores life in caves that essentially exist with no light, just pretty much in water, not a whole lot of oxygen, right? So they're naturally like super weird and pale looking and blind. And these ones live in, I think, Slovenia and Croatia and Bosnia. Yeah, they're like in Eastern Europe-esque. And so they're only in caves. And they kind of look like a weird, like worm salamander kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what I find really fascinating about them is that they're blind, right? They have other ways of like sensing. They use other senses. So like their Wikipedia says particularly smell and hearing. So they're like acutely developed where like they don't need a sense of sight because they live in the dark in caves. Yeah.
They're Daredevil.
Yeah, they're Daredevil, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, and it's similar. So it's like an amphibian. It's similar to those, like, I never know how to pronounce them. The axolotls?
The axolotl, yeah.
Yeah, those things. I was going to put that one, but I figured we've all heard of those. They're all like kind of similar to that, and yeah, they're pretty freaky deaky, and they live in caves.
The tagline of this episode has to be freaky deaky.
Freaky deaky, yeah. And they have cool like photoreceptors and camo. Oh yeah, so like, I mean, you can look at their Wikipedia. The way that they like function living in a cave is kind of fascinating. Or you could just watch that Planet Earth episode, which is the freakiest one for sure. Freaky deakiest one, perhaps.
I really like its tiny hands. Like they're really, really tiny coming out of it.
like salamanders. So it's not quite like a worm. Like it does have like funny appendages, because salamanders do have like little feet. Yeah. So it's not like completely like a worm, but its body looks almost snake-like or worm-like.
Yeah.
Little feetsies.
And it's got like a little face, sort of.
Sort of, without the eyes.
Mouth
Yeah, it's got a little mouth. Yeah, it's kind of cute in a way. Maybe not.
Seth doesn't like it.
The word secreted comes up too much in this article for me. I can't.
Oh boy.
No, thank you.
So that's the Olm.
Well, Seth, bring us home. What do you got for the final nomination?
Okay, so we're staying underwater here, and like I'd approach this in the same way you did, Tuong, which is like find the cool looking animals. But this is actually a fairly normal looking one, but it has a specific behavior which makes it really cool.
Okay.
So I'm introducing to you to the pistol shrimp.
I love the name.
So it looks like a shrimp. It's like they grow like 6 centimeters long. They're not very big, but maybe no more bigger than your hand.
Yeah, look at that. So, look at that right hook.
It's distinctive for its disproportionate large claw, larger than half of the shrimp's body. So it's got this like huge right or left arm. It can be either arm.
Okay.
Instead of like pincers, it has a pistol-like feature made of 2 parts. And I'm just going to read directly from the article because it's too sciencey. A joint allows the, quote, hammer part to move backwards into a right-angled position. When released, it snaps into the other part of the claw, emitting an enormously powerful wave of bubbles capable of stunning larger fish and breaking small jars.
Holy shit!
Oh.
Wow, it's like a shotgun.
So you remember I said like does this really exist? This is one that actually really does exist. This is a real animal. Okay, so but wait for the best part. The snap, so this like compression of water creates bubbles, so it that can produce sonoluminescence from the collapsing captivation bubble. As it collapses, the cavitation bubble reaches temperatures of over 5,000 Kelvin. In comparison, the surface temperature of the sun is estimated to be 5,800 Kelvin. So for a tiny fraction of a second, the temperature in the bubble can become as hot as the sun.
Right. There's another shrimp that does that, right? And it's similar, but that's freaking nuts.
So they I watched videos of this. Yeah, and it's like under a rock, and it sees another shrimp that it wants to eat, and it goes like its little claw goes like. I mean, I was watching a movie and they actually put like gun sounds in, which was kind of dumb. But and then it airs this like pulse, and the other shrimp just like dies.
That's so cool. I found this picture on Google Images, and I thought it was appropriate.
Okay.
Which is just the pistol shrimp holding 2 pistols with a cowboy hat.
Pew pew.
I love that it's native to Florida. That seems especially appropriate.
Geez.
Yeah.
Can't take away my guns. Oh no! Is the pistol shrimp a Republican? Is that what we're going down?
Political here. But like, if you pulled one of these out of the water, you'd think it was like mutated or something, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
It looks like a shrimp that like exercised its one arm too much.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's so cool. All right. Well, wow, we have a lot to think about on our break.
Wow, yeah.
So, okay, let's take a little bit of a break here, get our thoughts together, and get a little freaky deaky on our break. And when we're back, we're gonna rank the top 5 most interesting animals you've never heard about. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yes, son.
I want to touch that animal. I want to go over there. I want to hop the fence and just touch it.
You should be careful with strange animals. Let it sniff your hand first.
Oh, you should listen to your father.
Oh, Mom. Not you again. You always make me put on gloves, but I don't own any protective gear, Mom. Where am I supposed to buy that?
Don't forget your hand sanitizer.
Listen to your dad. You need to be safe. Hey, I heard there's this website you can use in order to buy all the things.
No way. You're a boomer. How do you know about the internet?
I learn things.
Okay, prove it. Mom, Dad, where am I supposed to go to just buy stuff magically online?
Something to do with trees.
I'm pretty sure it's called the Amazon.
That's what it is.
Wait a second. Oh, I know the Amazon. If you go to podcavern.com and click on the Amazon affiliate link, then I'm hearing this from somewhere, but I heard that it costs no extra money and a little bit of the kickback goes to the Pod Cavern, the place that we live.
Sorry. Sounds worth it to me.
I'm writing that down. What did you say it was? Rainforest.com/what?
Mom, no, it's podcavern.com.
Podcavern.com.
Parents, am I right?
Thanks, sweetie.
Top five.
Hey everyone, we are back. We got freaky, we got deaky. We went into a YouTube kind of hole. I did anyways, trying to look at some of the animals on the break. And yeah, we are at the part of the show where we have to rank these animals. We got to make a top 5 list. I know at the beginning of the show, I said the top 5 list, doesn't matter. But I mean, the show it's a top 5 show. We have to make a top 5 list. We're mandated to do so. So let's do that right now. Now, to remind the people at home what our nominations are, we have the blue glaucus, or the Glaucus atlanticus, which was the blue dragon, blue fairy, whatever you want to call it, the lyrebird, coati. I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong. If any scientists are listening to this out there, harpy eagle, pink armadillo, sparkle muffin, it's a type of peacock spider,
Sparkle muffin,
Senegal bush baby, sarcastic fringe head. I almost said finger head. That's not that. Mimic octopus, panda ant, olm, and pistol shrimp. We're all over the place on this list, which I kind of like.
Yeah,
it's a good range.
It's a good variety. Yeah,
it's super cool. And like I said, I feel like if we were to do this list, this episode again, it could have been like 12 other animals for sure.
Oh yeah, our honorable mentions are going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, they will be interesting. Although people, we'll see where we get. Maybe our honorable mentions are more interesting. We'll see. But, okay, how do we narrow this down?
So I feel like there are a few different ways we could do this. One way I would like to put out there is the names. So just looking at the names of them, I'm automatically drawn to Sparkle Muffin, Sarcastic Fringe Head, Bush Baby, Pistol Shrimp. You know what I mean? They're the ones that kind of stand out, especially Sparkle Muffin. Like, that does sound like a Pokemon. Like, what is that?
Those all sound like Muffin menu items or something on some diner. Route 66.
The Sparkle Muffin.
Well, now that I know what a Sparkle Muffin is, I will not order it at a diner.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The other way we can so we all agree that these are animals we've largely never heard about. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, okay. wait. Can we just ask, are there any of these animals that we did know about?
I had heard of the harpy eagle, but just because it came up on a freaky animal list a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Because that photo of the dude sitting next to the harpy eagle went a little bit viral last month. Yeah. But that, I don't know if we should discount it for that reason.
No. I was just curious for for bias.
Yeah.
I knew about
the
I knew about the
for sure.
Yeah. I knew about the blue dragon and the armadillo, but that was it, I think.
Yeah.
Now, Ax, did you know about it before the show, or did you know it before, or like before researching, or just because you were looking at interesting animals for this episode?
I'd only really heard of the harpy eagle and the mimic octopus, but the other ones, I just found before the show.
Okay. And I've out of all these ones, I've heard of the Ohm before. But that was really the only one that I've really heard about before this show. So,
and that's because of that Planet Earth episode for sure. I think they got a bit of notoriety because of that for sure. Dang.
Yeah. So I think with that, we satisfy the first part of the criteria, which is things that we've never heard about. Now, I think the next part, is the more more crucial part is the interesting aspect of these things. Now, I think they're all interesting in their own right, but I think the best way to go about it is probably of what it does or what it's all about rather than what the name is all about.
Well, and there's also interesting based on what it does, but also interesting looking.
Yes, for sure.
I would love to nominate the pistol shrimp for that reason.
Yeah.
Well, not because it looks like a shrimp, but what it can actually do with that bazooka arm. It looks like it's Evil Dead.
Bazooka
that is pretty fucking cool. I have no qualms about that for sure. So how about we do that? Let's just each star nomination and just see where that takes us, and then we'll just kind of navigate it from there. Seth, what nomination stands out to you that's not your own that you want to star?
I'm liking the panda ant. I gotta say,
hey,
I didn't know that. And if someone told me an ant looks like a panda, I'd be like, no way. I assume it was somehow like maybe its legs were. I just wouldn't think that it was like white, black, white. Thorax, head, whatever the butt end is called. And kind of furry. I like the panda ant.
Yeah.
Panda ant. All right.
Yep, it's the panda ant's a furry. No, Ax, what do you want to star?
I like the mimic octopus.
Good choice.
It's cool though.
It's so weird, but also it's that ability is it's there's very few animals that can do that, especially to that extent. It's kind of
so having watched that video, I kind of wonder now if it's just doing its own thing, and us humans are like, oh, it looks like it's doing that, it's just I'm contorting into funny shapes, and we're like, oh my god, it looks like a snake.
That we're actually putting meaning onto it, but it's just fucking around,
it's just doing its thing. It's weird. It's still unusual.
It's still weird, but
it is weird how we can change color and stuff too, that's a chameleon. Weird, that's pretty freaky.
Did you see that part? Yeah, it changes its bands and stuff to make it look more snake-like and stuff. There was one in that video that I sent you guys. I'll link in the show notes. But basically, it turns into this walking turkey-like thing for a little while. It completely turns into it looks blue in that. At the beginning of the video, but it turns brown and furry. It's weird.
That's what got me thinking about it, because I was because the host is like an underwater turkey, and I'm like, like all those underwater turkeys out there.
Before we move on, I'll read a little sentence that I found online about it. It can mimic many underwater species and mimic them very well indeed. One example is that it mimics a crab, so that real crabs think that the octopus is a mate, and once the crab gets close to it will devour it.
That's wild.
Yeah,
so it lures its prey. Oh my word!
Wow, that's aggressive.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Okay, so if I had to star one here, I think the one that it's hard to get out of my mind is the harpy eagle. That thing is so terrifying, but it's so weird, interesting to look at.
It looks like a griffin. It actually looks like a mythical creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's well put. Yeah,
I definitely see that.
And the fact there was one photo in that article you linked us, Seth, that it showed it was a dude holding one of its talons, and the talons was the same size as the dude's hand. Like it was enormous. Like it's like the size of a human hand.
Jesus.
Like,
I don't like the pictures where it's staring the camera right in the face. Like,
quit looking at me.
It's
like
kind of regal looking.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it has a nice crown, but then you're like, it's thinking of 10 ways to eat me right now.
Yeah, probably.
It's freaky, but I like it because of it. Okay, so what we have so far is we have a mimic octopus starred, panda ant, harpy eagle, and pistol shrimp. That's good to start on. And now let's kind of open it up and say, what other ones do you want to star or you want to fight for that's on your own list? Anything that stands out to you?
You know, I kind of want to just put the lyrebird on the table for a moment.
Yes.
I think there was an episode of Planet Earth or something like that, because I remember actually hearing like they had a recording of the lyrebird like imitating, I think, a car alarm or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was like really weird how accurate it was. Like he was kind of going, and it was this like really beautiful bird making this sound. Like it was so...
Do you think it's like a advanced parrot in a way, like just the way it kind of
pretty much
just echo something?
Like I think the capacity to which I think it can mimic, like the article said somewhere, the capacity to which it can mimic human noises is kind of exaggerated and not, I don't think, as good. But everything else, like it's like one of the most ridiculously talented songbirds out there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it kind of is an advanced parrot. It just specializes in everything else.
Yeah, and I'll support it on the list, but I think it bears to point out that there's a lot of mimic birds out there, right? Like the mockingbird, the other one, and the third one.
Yes, the other one.
But you know, the mockingbird.
It's
the other one.
So, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Just like in terms of uniqueness, it may have the widest range and be the most interesting in that category, but it might be a representative of the category.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
One does think of like cockatiels and parrots and stuff that can do the kind of echoing sort of thing. But yeah, it's just this one recording I heard of them doing, it was either like a fire truck or a car alarm, something like that. And it was this little bird just making this like incredible sound. It was, very strange.
Were you saying that it had like made noises of birds that it would never have been in the same?
Like let me pull up I can pull up the article because I had it open, and it was something to do with Tasmania. So it's found. An instructive example is the population of superb lyrebirds in Tasmania, which have retained the calls of species not native to Tasmania in their repertoire.
Whoa.
With some local Tasmanian endemic bird songs added.
That is super existential. Like if it makes cell phone rings and you're like, that sounds like my phone, but I've never used that ringtone.
These birds are trippy, man.
Yeah.
And also, what's the biological advantage of doing making these sounds?
Good question.
Like why does it mimic these sounds? Is it
as kind of a safety thing? They also use them during their mating rituals, like the males do, and the females usually stay silent.
Wow, imagine like this bird making like car engine noises as a mating. Wow, interesting.
Really revs your engine.
Yeah, seriously. I like this at least starred for now.
Okay.
Let's go. Like we have 5 right now, but there's so many here. Catherine, I'm looking at your list here. Is there anyone that you want to fight for?
You know what? I have in my heart, I love the Coati Mundi. I just think they're adorable, and I guess they are kind of like known. Like anyone who lives in like Central or South America would be like, oh, that's a raccoon. Yeah, sure. But I just think they're so cute. And seeing them jumping around in the trees, like they actually can move in a really beautiful way. And I don't think they pick through trash as much as a traditional raccoon, but I could be wrong there. And they have those really cool tails too. I don't know.
They look cute. I just trying to think, like, compared to some of these other ones on this list here who have like some pretty distinctive features about it, or like that make them stand out rather than just their looks.
Maybe it's because I did see it like in real life that I was like, whoa, what is that? So, and it's hard to like describe. It's like if a raccoon was just like jumping over your head, you know?
Right.
At night in the middle of a rainforest. Like, it was kind of cool.
Stop.
we saw a mama sloth and her baby that night too. That was really cool.
Really cool.
Wow.
That is cool.
That was worth the like $50 to hire that dude to take us into a forest at night.
$50? That seems pretty reasonable. I mean, I feel like that's reasonable. Okay, so we have the mimic octopus, lyrebird, panda ant, harpy eagle, and pistol shrimp here. I'm looking at the rest of this here.
What about the sarcastic fringe head?
It looks cool. I want to hear more about it.
You know, I think I got really hung up on like its whole mouth part. That I didn't like. Did anyone like? I don't think I even said anything about where it is. Like, I assume it's in the ocean.
One would think
they're somewhere.
So if that's not on the list due to lack of research, that's on me, guys. You know,
that's okay.
Let me pull up its Wikipedia. Let's get some information on it here. It's in California. Oh. It's in Baja. They're found in the Pacific, just off the coast of North America, around from San Francisco to like the Baja Peninsula. Yeah.
Interesting.
So you're swimming on the beaches of California, and one of these comes at you.
Oh, that would be freaky.
No tanks.
I also love the name too, but like whatever. We don't have to choose it.
Videos are terrifying. Don't even. Oh no. Okay.
I'm just trying to. What else does it? I'm just trying to figure out what else it's about. You know, besides looking badass as fuck.
Weird.
Besides looking like what's his name, Admiral Akbar, or what's his name?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what else? What do you do?
It's a trap, right?
It's definitely a trap.
Okay, so if this fish literally said that, then it would win. Like, that's the only way you communicate. It's a trap. It's a trap. But I don't see anything else about it.
Yeah. Even the scientists get bogged down. Sometimes they can't move past it.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh no, here's another good quote. When rival males get too close to each other, they unfurl shockingly large and colorful mouths and make gaping threats at one another, like yupping muppets.
It does look like a muppet. You're right.
If one of the males does not back down, this will escalate into a full-scale kissy battle with two rivals pushing mouths against each other in order to establish who's the biggest. Okay.
Imagine that.
So, and then the scientists are like, that's it. There's no more.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
I want to see the next fist fight on the streets not turn into a fist fight, but a kissy battle.
An open mouth.
Just like, I hate you, man. I hate you too. Kiss, 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 kiss. And then someone wins. Cops come.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm looking as well as the Ohm. Is there anything outstanding about the Ohm that you want to bring up, Catherine?
I'm fascinated about all of these creatures that live in caves and rely on like every other sense other than like sight and light, light-based senses. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally second that. And in the hierarchy of like animal life, it's one of those like up there with like deep sea animals and stuff. It's one of the least known. So even though it's popularized by like David Attenborough or whatever, it's like if David Attenborough says it's unusual, it's unusual.
Then it's unusual.
It's unusual.
Yeah, and you have to go pretty deep into caves to find them, and it's actually like pretty dangerous too. It's like real deep sea divers who or cave diving is actually like a whole other kind of thing. But like I think they've only recently discovered them because of like the technology it takes to get that deep into caves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the fact that there's all these like subspecies that they don't know anything about yet is like you just know it's the tip of the iceberg of unusual.
Yeah, because it's impossible really for humans to get that deep into caves, and there's a whole like
caves
network.
are freaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caves are freaky. The first written mention of the Om was in 1689, is what I'm reading
okay.
here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Yeah.
I think like it's not a. Oh, what do
Well,
I know?
'cause
I'm
they
just reading a
were
Wikipedia.
washed. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I
It says
believe
they
that
were
ball.
they were washed up from the underground waters and were believed by local people to be a cave dragon's offspring. So they
Right.
followed the
Jeez.
dragon for a long time. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't know about it, so it's new to me.
Hey.
Okay, so what I'm looking at right now is that I love, like many ranked episodes, I love variety on our list, right? If we have
Yeah.
stuff from the water, like flying animals, mammals, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm totally cool with having the Om on here, especially like because it's so dependent on its other senses to operate.
Yeah.
And it just looks pretty fucking cool. So
Wait.
I'm totally about that.
It's a
Yeah.
salamander.
Can
Hang
we?
on. We
Go ahead.
haven't starred any mammals because you mentioned that you'd be interested in having a mammal on the list. So far,
True.
like
you got
there's
fish
the
and birds.
armadillo, there's the bush baby, and I guess we already mentioned the coati.
Right.
Mm.
See, the other thing that's like to me stands out, which was my first nomination, which was the blue dragon, the blue
yeah.
fairy.
Yeah.
And it just that's one of those things that just does not look like a real creature in the universe, you know?
True.
So and it just I'm not sure if you guys saw any like videos of it move, but it's just so for me it's mesmerizing.
I didn't have the nerve.
It's very freaky.
You're just trying to click it, but you're sweating.
Yeah.
Shaking, push the
It
button.
reminds me a little bit. Have you guys ever seen not a seahorse but a sea dragon? Have you ever seen one of those before? It reminds me a little bit of those.
It's like a seahorse that's been deconstructed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
As if like a seahorse was kind of like bigger and more elaborate, kind of.
A little more spread out.
Right.
Yeah. It's
well,
similar to that.
Maybe we can like narrow the categories to make another slot or something. Like, what if we pit the harpy eagle against the lyrebird and like see who comes out on top?
Have to do that. But here, let me send you a gift that will probably ruin my nomination because it'll be too freaky. Let me see if this works here.
Is it a gif of it moving?
Yes, which is what I want to show you because it moves fucking weird.
Why?
It is the most unexpected. Like if you saw this in the water, you'd go like, someone dropped their toy dinosaur or something.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even assume it was an animal. Like it doesn't look.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It looks
What is
out
it
of this.
doing?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
like
Yeah, I
stuff.
read that it floats like on one side to camouflage. So that's
Oh, it
I
like
think I
flips
just
around. I
fell
see.
in
the
love
blue,
with this
the blue
silly thing.
side. The blue side looks like the water, and then the silver side on the other side is
Looks
if you
like
look
the
up at
ground.
it. From,
Yeah.
essentially. Fuck.
Yeah, it's just super here. Here's one more that I gotta send you because it's so weird. And that would be like the last thing I'll fight for, maybe. I don't know. I really like the pink armadillo, but only because it's so fucking cute.
It's cute. Well, it's why I put the bush baby and the coati on it too. Like they're just so cute. Oh, look at it! Yeah, it's like it's doing.
Whoa.
It's like it's doing crunches or something.
Yeah,
Even fit in the time of the Rona.
Yeah,
it's
you gotta.
fascinating to me.
That's
Okay.
wild. Look at that.
Look
So-
at that.
Yeah, this is a great podcast.
Yeah, well,
Amazing.
yeah, this is great. This is
Jeff,
very
no one can see
audio
it.
only medium.
Hopefully listeners
Look
are
at
following
these beautiful
along.
things. Yeah.
It's like kite dragon thing that then like curls up into a ball and then explodes itself and it like moves along this way. It's quite
Yeah.
wonderful. Very live.
I do like Seth's point that like if you were to just kind of see it in the wild, like you wouldn't realize at first it was like a living animal.
Well, yeah, it's like the first thing I would say. I'd be like, is that an animal? Like it is that
Is it moving? Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't want to touch it.
No. Well, it's poisonous. So, although I'm not sure if
shouldn't
it's poisonous for people, but I mean, I assume it would at least, I don't know, give you a rash or something.
Yeah.
If you
Oh
got,
yeah, it does.
it
Makes
looks
sense.
like the alien from Life. Do you remember that movie Life? It's like a
I haven't
weird, like,
I haven't watched it,
oh, it's a good
but
time.
I really should.
It's very underrated. It's got like an A-list cast. It's
Sweet.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, and has a terrifying like climax. Anyway, I won't go into details.
Oh dear, I don't do well with horror. This is good.
okay. Is there anything else that we want to star? I'm trying not to star the entire list. I know I said mammals earlier, but the mammals that I'm looking at are are the obvious. We have the pink armadillo, the coati, and the Senegal bush baby.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of these actually? I'm going against myself here, but are any of these actually more interesting than the other animals that we have on this list?
Not really.
I think the pink armadillo is a novelty. I'm sorry. It's super cute.
It is.
All three of them are like pretty cute, but I don't know if that makes them interesting.
Right.
I get that. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm okay with like letting those guys go, and that we have like more of a basis of what to rank right now.
Which is interesting because mammals would be the ones that we have the most access to, right?
Yeah.
So like that we might categorize as less. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's because. No, go ahead, Catherine.
Oh, I had in my honorable mentions. I have a mammal that I'm like, dang, maybe I should have mentioned it, but alas, I'll save it for later.
I'm thinking it's because like maybe. As a mammal.
Like, mammal?
Rose tongue, mammal.
Preach.
As ambassador of all the mammals out there, I'm just thinking that like all these other animals are like way more impressive to me because I know way less about them. Maybe like I don't spend time looking at these other things, and things that represent or like are closer to me are a little less interesting. I think maybe that's my half-baked logic there.
No, I get that. It
does make sense. Yeah,
like bush babies are technically actually primates, so it's on this list. It's the thing we are closest related to. Weird.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you look guys with it in the forest, it's like. You or I.
What do we have left here? I've lost track.
So here, let me recap of what we have, and I think the rest we can just leave out, unless the peacock spider is actually coming into play here. The sparkle muffin.
Sparkle muffin.
If we had to have a bug,
future horse.
Yeah, like the stanky leg, guys.
I would choose a sparkle muffin over the panda ant. That's my personal bias, but I just think it looks cooler out of the two bugs, but that's just me. So we have the blue glaucus, mimic octopus, lyrebird, panda ant, harpy eagle, and pistol shrimp. And I'd be willing to swap sparkle muffin for panda ant personally, but that's up to you guys. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Well, so I nominated the panda ant, but I'm not really like that attached to it. I just feel like the sparkle muffin is Instagram ready, like it's packaged and ready to go. You can't take a bad picture of that spider, and the panda ant just kind of like does its thing.
Axe, as knowing, expert on both of them, what makes one more interesting than the other, if you can choose?
I think I'd pick the sparkle muffin over the panda ant because the panda ant is cool in that it looks cool and it's got a powerful sting, but the sparkle muffin probably has that too. It also looks cool, but then when it's trying to attract mates, it does a little dance, and it's got this little, this fun little colorful display it does. Yes, exactly. The colorful stanky leg.
Yeah. It's got me on the whole arm up thing because I was looking at more pictures and it looks like it's raising its hand. It's adorable. It's like, hello. This arm, it's the other arm. Hello.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, with that, I feel confident that we have 7, which means we have to take off 2 off this list. Now, I like Seth's idea of like grouping some together and pitting those against each other, like the lyrebird and harpy eagle. I don't think they both belong on this list.
Agreed.
If I had to choose between the two, I'd choose the harpy eagle for sure. Don't you think?
Eat the lyrebird.
I would be scared. I would be scared not to choose the harpy eagle because they would come back for me. Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I will
Seth,
take that.
what do you think, Seth?
I think the lyrebird would like fly around the harpy eagle, spinning its little tail feathers, trying to make a show. And the harpy eagle would just turn it and sort of give it some time, and then just like pounce.
Pluck it out of the air.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
sorry. It's nature.
It's nature.
That's nature. That's the
survival of the fittest.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if I want to like make them fight against each other because the harpy eagle would definitely win.
Let them fight.
I have a hard time with this. I think the harpy eagle looks badass. I think it's like visually looks more interesting than the lyrebird. And the other thing with the lyrebird, it's so interesting that it can mimic all these sounds. Like just looking through this, it says chainsaws, car engines, car alarms, fire alarms, rifle shots, camera shutters, dogs barking,
wild.
crying babies, music, mobile phone ringtones, like you said, and some human voice. So like that is super impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But can it mimic a harpy eagle?
I don't know. That's the thing. And if I were to choose something that mimics something already, I would choose the mimic octopus over.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, those are two interesting categories to compare.
Mimic creatures. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think I'm more interested in the harpy eagle, just like on a visual scale. But Axe, what do you think about that? I guess.
Oh, I mean, the harpy eagle is nice. I can concede to the harpy eagle. But then,
you know what, Axe, though, I gotta like throw it back to the lyrebird, which is like the harpy eagle is interesting because it's big, and like that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
It just occurred to me.
True. and
like, I don't know. You're right, though. I think, Seth, it was you that said this, that like when it looks at the camera, like the harpy eagle, I mean, like it looks like it's staring into your soul. You know, like there's something like magical about it or something, I think, at least.
Terrifying,
yeah.
Also,
yeah, it's a species that demands your attention, like from first look. So immediately my eye goes to it, and I'd be like, and then I want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
Where the lyrebird, like until you look into it, it just looks like another bird, I guess, or like a pheasant type creature, I suppose. But
yeah,
true. So which do we like more? I guess the whole.
I vote harpy eagle.
Yeah, the initial look or the fact that the bird can make lots of noises.
That's so hard for me. I could flip a coin on this, to be honest.
Same.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm rooting for my boy the lyrebird.
Let me put it this way: if you were on a date with either one of these birds, and I don't mean birds like in a pejorative, like in a like bird like the British. Anyway, sure. And would it be the look, or would it be the like clever conversation,
the personality?
Well, in that context,
reducing
it's
this
a clever
to like
conversation. Yeah, I feel like the harpy eagle wouldn't have much to say. He'd just be like a brooding force.
He'd be like, I'm going to take you home later and eat you.
But this isn't top.
Death by snoo snoo. Yeah.
This isn't top 5 animals you want to get with. This is
what?
I mean, that's a separate episode.
That's why I put a sarcastic fringe head on it.
Look at that mouth.
I was going for a tie-breaking scenario. That's all.
No, I see your point. I think physically the harpy eagle looks more interesting, but I think characteristically the lyrebird is probably more interesting. Which is probably the more interesting thing at the end of the day, I guess. Mm-hmm. Are we happy with that?
I'm gonna go for the lyrebird. I'm just gonna.
Here. Second that.
All right. Wow.
I can go of the harpy for sure.
Okay, cool. So we need to cut off one more. So once again, we have let's just call it the blue dragon, mimic octopus, lyrebird, the ohm, and the pistol shrimp.
Okay, I have an idea. We have too many water-based creatures.
Yeah.
So let's look at, so we've got the blue dragon, the octopus, the ohm, and the pistol shrimp. I think we should cut one of those 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's going to be hard. Yeah.
I think I know which one I would cut, to be honest with you.
You'd cut the ohm, wouldn't you?
Yep. No. I wouldn't cut the ohm.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, because the ohm isn't. Well, is the ohm primarily just water based, or isn't like cave dwelling and like kind of?
Yeah, but like water caves, like underwater caves.
Yeah,
like I guess so.
But it lives underwater.
I'm thinking about like deep ocean water stuff.
I see,
like because the salamander, like at least from my understanding of salamanders, it can walk on land too.
Yes, yeah.
I understand.
Sorry, I'm only a mammal expert, not a salamander expert.
It has the flexibility. It can go up on rocks and stuff like that too. Yeah,
it's on a rock.
So I'm fine with the ohm, to be honest with you.
Great, I love the ohm. Yeah, let's keep them.
And I I think the interesting thing about the ohm is truly its like other senses, that how it like navigates that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fucking cool and definitely sets it apart.
Yeah.
If I had to choose any one of these ones to go at this point, just for variety reasons, I think I would take out, unfortunately, the blue dragon, one that I fought for.
Dang.
Yeah, because I think the mimic octopus is way too interesting and cool not to have on the list. Personally,
Yeah.
I think it can just do so much that it's like it would be a shame for it not to make the list. And I think the pistol shrimp is a fucking cowboy. So.
I got yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of interesting jellyfish out there. There's the man o' war. There's the other one. And a couple more.
I get it.
No, but in all seriousness, I've seen different ones, and they're interesting, and they're different shapes and colors, and this is just like a radical.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to like the harpy eagle argument almost. Although I think the blue glaucus is a little bit more interesting, but it's just like it just looks fucking cool. Is kind of why I was drawn to it in the first place.
Okay. So we're cutting the dragon.
The blue dragon.
Well, yeah, because I think the lyrebird is a lock. I think the spider is a lock. I would love to have a spider and a bug onto this, even though I didn't nominate any myself. I like the ohm personally.
Yeah, me too.
Pistol shrimp, we already said all great things about this Western cowboy. And, and I think the octopus is cool too. So let's get rid of the dragon.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
What are we down to? 3? We're at 6?
We have 5.
Oh,
I think. So
yeah, we do.
mimic octopus, lyrebird, sparkle muffin, which is the peacock spider, the ohm, and pistol shrimp. We have to rank this from 5 to 1. Oof.
Damn.
It's gonna be hard. Yeah.
Yo.
Let's start with number 5. I think I know what my number 5 is.
Mine's a sparkle muffin because it's freaky.
Oh. I think I'd probably put the ohm at 5.
Yeah, I think I put the ohm or the sparkle muffin.
Yeah, and then the other 4 are kind of not interchangeable. It's just there's.
We could go ohm number 5, sparkle muffin number 4.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think, Seth?
I think I don't know. I think the ohm deserves better.
Okay.
Thanks, Seth.
The peacock spider, like again, there's a lot of weird spiders out there. It's one in a class. The ohm, it might be one in a class, but we don't really know. Like it's the most. Probably on this list, it's the least known, most unusual, just by sheer definition.
Right.
By like lack of research.
Unusual,
like, okay.
Yeah.
So one fun fact, I was just kind of scanning its Wikipedia page. They estimate that it could live 100 years.
Oh, that's right. I remember that from the documentary.
Yeah. And its average lifespan is about 70 years. So they live about as long as we do. That's crazy.
Okay. I'm convinced that the sparkle muffin is number 5 then.
Then maybe ohm number 4 or what? Or do we think it deserves to be higher?
So wait, if we're saying that's number 5, we don't have to discuss it anymore, right? We can compare.
Yeah, we can just say it's number 5. Okay. Is ohm number 4?
Or is lyrebird number 4?
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I think lyrebird would be number 3 for me, I guess.
Yes, lyrebird, yes.
Only because it's so impressive. I know we talked about how there's a bunch of different mimic birds out there, but I mean, what do I know? But I think the lyrebird, at least from our conversation,
when in doubt, just say another one and another one.
Yeah, but it seems like it's like the pinnacle version of these mimic birds, and it is probably best in its class of doing that.
Right.
It's also the prettiest animal on this list. All the other animals are kind of freaky. Yeah. Like it's actually like a good looking animal. Like it's a beautiful bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it unusual.
Oh yeah,
no,
that's true.
Like it blends right in with all the other
sound.
Yeah,
for sure.
So lyrebird maybe number 3. We're thinking. What would be number 4 then?
I think the ohm's number 4.
Oh, the ohm's number 4. Okay.
Oh, right.
So we have sparkle muffin 5, ohm 4, lyrebird 3.
Yeah, are people happy with that? Let's just get a room check before we move
run
on.
that. Say that again.
So Sparkle Muffin 5, 4 would be Ohm, and 3 would be the lyrebird.
Cool. And that leaves us with the octopus and the pistol shrimp.
Yeah.
2 underwater animals.
Yeah, of course.
I'm okay.
All right.
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's some freaky animals in the ocean and stuff we don't even know, right? Like, oh.
Well, so
yeah.
Scary.
Just downright terrifying.
Yeah, these things are. Oh, I would not want to mess with either of these things.
Wait, hold on. I just realized we actually didn't really discuss the sarcastic fringe head, and because
we kind of did,
which is totally. I just realized it was still on my list, and I was like, oh, we just ignored it.
Oh. yeah, no.
I kind of brought it up. I brought it up.
We agreed it looks cool.
We agreed it looks cool, but it doesn't do much.
I let it go. Yeah. And so did all the other scientists. So that's okay.
Okay, so we are in the battle between the mimic octopus and the pistol shrimp. Now that is, I think we all kind of somewhat agree that they. Like silently agreed that they're the 2 coolest animals on our list, which I totally am all about. This is a tough one for me, I think.
It's not for me. As much as I think octopi are octopus, whatever it is, are like terrifying animals, and they're slowly taking us over because they're friggin' scary smart. I think we should put him number 1 because, like, what he can do is. Or what they can do is pretty freaky, pretty cool. Compared to the pistol shrimp, while his bazooka arm is cool, that's pretty much all he does. That's what would differentiate him from a regular shrimp.
Yes, you know I mean it's number 2, which is still pretty dope.
Oh, and he has the power of the sun as well.
Oh yeah, right.
Power of the sun.
Yeah. That actually makes him sound like a superhero. Like he should be in the Marvel universe.
What makes it, yeah. I mean, what my argument, my narrative for the pistol shrimp, if you will, is that what evolutionary context results in a shrimp that's like a shrimp, except that it has a bazooka arm. Do you know what I mean? Like there's an origin story. There's a lot going on there.
True, it's nuts.
I'm just reading here from Stanford University. That the power generated in one shot is 200 watts, which is enough to power like a 100-watt light bulb for 2 hours.
Oh my!
That's pretty nuts.
Which is freaking crazy.
Like a little shrimp can do that. Wow!
Tiny little boy.
Now, what if a bunch of shrimp,
all
like
banded
mug
together?
you?
I think
like say you're like
you've solved the energy crisis.
It's like you're going down Crime Alley, and behind you see this pistol shrimp and all his buddies. I think you would lose. That's all I'm trying to say. And do you think Clint Eastwood would play a pistol shrimp in one of his Western movies in the future?
Okay, again, sorry. Reading from this academic article from Stanford U, are there practical uses for humans? The small bubbles could be useful. Medicine for tumor destruction, for example. Another idea has been floated is a compression engine. So you get one of these, you put them in the gas tank of your car, and they drive you around. I don't know.
Isn't that animal cruelty?
Yeah, I don't think you would like that very much.
And then you can eat it. Okay, I'm off topic.
Yeah, no. I love this. Okay, so
Seth, are you arguing for it to be number 1? Is this what you're saying?
So the pistol, like, it's just so unique, and the mimic octopus is wicked awesome. But it reminds me of like the sea cucumber, which sort of rolls along the ocean floor and changes color. And then there's a lot of other like camouflagey animals. I just think as far as like defense mechanisms or like an offensive mechanism, like the pistol shrimp, like bazooka arm, it's more unique. Like I've never like sonoluminescence as a weapon through an animal to me is like mind blowing. I've never heard anything like that.
I think that's a really good point. Although it's just for me, just like watching that video and just doing the research for the mimic octopus, the fact that like it's still unknown how many things this thing can like morph into for defense mechanism wise, or just to navigate the ocean and stuff like that. It seems like it's just so interesting and an unknown for me. Like I feel like we know, even though it's so cool now to hear about the pistol shrimp, I probably learned as much as I could about the pistol shrimp, whereas the mimic octopus, there's still more to learn about it, I guess. It's more of an enigma.
Like the Om. Yeah.
I can get behind that. I'm not I think the pistol shrimp has its place in second place.
Yeah. It's like very close for me because like the pistol shrimp sounds super fucking cool. But yeah, those videos of the mimic octopus, it's mesmerizing in my eyes. But Catherine, what do you think?
I'm okay with the pistol shrimp at 2 and the mimic at 1.
Yeah, me too. That's at the start of all this. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing what the pistol shrimp can do. But oh god, octopi just freak me right out. They're
weird.
And we don't fully understand how weird they are, you know? Like oof.
All of the Well, I'm glad our number 1 made us feel that. So let's go. Our list is number 5, we have the sparkle muffin. Number 4, we have Om. Number 3, the lyrebird. Number 2, the pistol shrimp. And number 1, the mimic octopus. Wow, what a list. This is great. I love this list, by the way. I think it's kick-ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super interesting.
Well done, everybody.
Okay, so we are at the part of the show where we're going to do honorable mentions. Now, I feel as though because this could take forever if we explain every single honorable mention that we have, because there are a bunch of animals that we don't know about. How about you, there's one animal you really want to like explain further about, go ahead, and the rest will just kind of just say.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so the one that I'll explain a little bit more about was the, I don't know how to say this, but the Baluchistan pygmy jerboa. And it looks like this little pipsqueak rodent that looks like a chicken, but it's not a chicken. And let me see if I can send you guys a video on it. And it's purely based on its looks is kind of what I'm going on. But here you guys go. I think it's freaking cute.
Oh, it does look like a chicken.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently it has mad hops. It can reach speeds up to 24 kilometers per hour.
It's so round. Wow.
Which is very, very fast.
That's unreal.
Right? Yeah. It's weird looking. And that's my honorable mention. Axe, what do you got?
Good ons mens. So the first one I have is the naked mole rat because Kim Possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it. I just wanted to shout that out really quickly. Otherwise, the one that is more explainable, I guess, is I think it's called the Diane's glass frog. I didn't look into why the name is Diane, maybe the person who discovered it. But essentially, the underbelly of this tiny little green frog is transparent, so you can see its internal organs.
Oh.
Yeah, it's freaky.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I almost went on my nominations list, but I was like, okay, transparent underside is a fun little novelty, but I'm not sure what the applications are.
Sweet. Like a glass bottom frog. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
you
wild.
can study it. You can study it without dissecting it.
It's the humane frog for high schools.
Yes.
Very humane. Catherine?
I already mentioned one of mine. I can never pronounce it. The axolotl. Is that one? Yeah. So it's kind of like, cool. It's like the Om, but with like kind of funny like things that stick out of its head. I chose not to mention it because it was a character on BoJack, so I figured people know it. Yeah, it was Todd's girlfriend for a little while. Yeah,
right.
There's also the eye, which is very similar to a bush baby, but like bald. So I decided to go for like the cuter one, the bush baby. And the one that I was really debating and I really wanted to mention, I don't know if I can pronounce, I think it's called a gerenuk. Its nickname is the giraffe gazelle. It's typically found in the Horn of Africa. It literally looks like if a gazelle and a giraffe were mixed together, and it can go back on its hind legs and like walk around on its hind legs. I'll send you a link. It's pretty freaky looking, but it's pretty much just like a gazelle with a super long neck that can go back on its legs.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of that. Yeah, it is freaky looking because it's in one of the pictures it has a tiny head.
Yeah, it has a tiny head and a super long neck, and when it goes back on its legs, that like on its hind legs, that's when it's like the freakiest looking. The Wikipedia has that's how they can get like branches, like low hanging branches and stuff that they like reach up like a giraffe. Yeah. Those are the three I was considering.
Cool. Seth, what do you got?
Yeah, so it's too close to Axe's naked mole, so that's why I couldn't bring it up because I knew that was out there. So it's called the hot-headed naked ice borer. So it's like a naked mole. It has a really high metabolic rate. There you go. And they live like up in the Arctic. The most fascinating feature is a bony plate in their forehead. So blood vessels run like heat through their head, and they like burrow through the ice. And what they do is like a pack of ice borers will cluster under like penguins, I guess, and they melt the ice, and then they fall in and they attack it and they eat it.
Oh man!
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's freaking intense.
Wow.
Wow. Seth, do you have any more just quick shout outs of honorable mentions?
No, I just wanted to say that, remember at the beginning of the episode, I said there was this fake hoax animal out there?
Yes, yeah.
The hot-headed naked ice borer does not exist.
That's awesome.
Sorry, it was a Discovery article that was put out on April Fool's Day, like back when I was 12, and I read this, and I was obsessed with this imaginary animal. And when we brought up the topic of like unusual animals, I was like, I gotta talk about this because it's real. And I was like, wait, it's still not real.
But maybe one day it will be. There's still hope.
Fingers
Evolution, crossed. You never know. Yeah.
You never know.
There's still hope. I'm gonna breed them.
Well, there's some weird breeded animals that we didn't even get into. Like there's like some weird rabbits out there that is just purely based on like generations and generations of breeding, and it's just full tufts of hair and stuff like that.
I was considering some of the like freaky dog breeds, like bringing those up, like those ones that have like dreads and stuff, and they look like mops. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any quick shout outs they want to do before we close off the show?
Did I have anything else? Oh, the bush viper, which is like the scales are kind of really pointy and point out. It looks like a freaking mythical creature. It's really cool. Bush viper.
Cool. I had a few here. I'll just name them quick. Goblin shark, which looks like super scary.
Yeah,
it's just like a.
gross.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's just. I'll send a picture to you guys in a bit. And there's a couple turtles out there. One was a Matamata turtle, which I thought looked cool. I'll send that a picture later. It's just like really armored and stuff. And the penis snake, which it just looks like a penis. And
Aren't
it's not
all
a snake.
snakes penis snakes? No.
No, this one. No. Hang on. I wasn't gonna do this, but
A little on the
nose. Now I have to send it to you. Here you go. You're welcome. It's neither a penis or a snake.
Oh, that's badass.
Brody.
There's one comparing it to Trump.
I know, it's bad. It's bad.
Wow.
And then the barrel eye. Oh, and the blobfish. Fish are cool. Turns out fish are cool.
Blobfish are creepy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the show. We did it. Somehow we ranked a bunch of animals. I feel like there should be a part 2 at some point where we rank other types of animals or prehistoric animals. Who knows?
Prehistoric. Cool. Yeah.
That would be freaking cool. But before we close off the show, of course, couldn't have done this without my guests today. Thank you, Axe, for being on the show.
Oh, I got you. No worries.
Now, I know we're in quarantine right now, but do you have plugs for the people, even if it's not stuff that you're immediately involved in right now? Is there anything that you want to plug, whether it's a show you're watching or a cause that you want to shout out, anything?
Let's see. I was going to be in Theater Kraken's production of She Kills Monsters this May, but that has been postponed. Hopefully it can go on in August. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'm watching a lot of new shows. I started watching Outlander, which is basically Game of Thrones romance.
I read all the books. Good stuff.
Yeah. Money Heist I just started. It's dope. It's really like cool, and it's about a bank robbery at the Spanish Mint. What else? Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I guess that's it. Otherwise, a lot of video games I'm playing, trying to get through my backlog, which will probably never happen.
Well, thank you, Axe, for being here today. Now, Catherine.
Yes.
Thank you for being on the show. This is so fun.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
I am so stoked that we found a way to bring you back into the pod cavern. You've never left.
Yeah, even if I'm on the other side of the country.
Doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. What do you have to plug for the people?
Not a whole lot. I'm rewatching Community. That's fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's a nice throwback. Support the arts, my friends. We're all artists here.
True.
And things are kind of dire for our industry at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Vancouver, once we're back up and running, check out the Arts Club. That's who I'm working for right now. It's good stuff. Other than that, the usual.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Catherine. Now,
thank you.
Brand new guest here today. Very first podcast ever. We have Seth Gerry. Thank you, Seth.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It was an enormous pleasure.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, pal. Listen, I was going to say, I we all did work together at the same time at GCTC, and I always try to make a point to meet part-time staff, like what Tuong and Ax were at the time. But there's this threshold by which I don't get a chance to really meet people if they're only there for a certain period of time. And you guys just left just as I felt like we were just developing a regular dialogue. And I miss that. So this really means a lot to me to be able to connect.
Amazing. I'm so happy about that. And to speak more on that, Seth, it's just that the second I get close to people, I get afraid. So I have to quit.
No, it shows in your face. It's just don't put that at my face.
Yes. Seth, you are too close to my face.
Of course.
This is not a kissing battle, please.
Right. And Catherine, I miss you, Catherine. It's so nice to hear your voice. Partners in crime on many a failed venture, I'm sure. So plugs. Yeah, I mean, buy local. I know it sounds simple. Different things, different people, but it's quite a simple idea, and that's sort of probably the way the world's going to work after this anyway. So get used to it. But no, I just started watching Goliath on Amazon, which is a very linear,
that thing,
very it's like watching a really elaborate episode of Law and Order. Really well acted, and given the craziness, it's just wonderful escapism right now.
Wow. Well, I love it. Thanks again, Seth. We hope to have you back. I hope to have this crew back for the prehistoric animals episode. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So for me, of course, my name is Tuong. You can find the rest of the shows in the Pod Cavern at www.podcavern.com. So many shows in there. This is Ranked Top 5, list of stuff that don't matter. We have the Improv, Punch Up, Talking Tongue, Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, Cinema Saves the World, Disney Dummies, and more to come. All right, let's get out of here. Let's do a kissing battle. Let's get our bazooka arms ready. And I miss you guys. I really do.
You too.
This was so fun. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.